Every decision moves us in one of two directions, toward love or toward fear. Love, even when it's hard, expands us, while fear contracts and keeps us small. We make decisions, some big, many small, every day. How can we more readily choose love? Welcome to Spiritual Geography. I'm Joni Miller. Imagine walking into a place where you know you're not welcome. You go because this choice is important to you. Maybe because of someone you love, maybe because you're speaking up for yourself, or maybe because you want to see a world where everyone is welcome. You sit knowing people may spit on you, curse at you, even hit you. Your heart pounds, your body wants to run. You could easily turn around and walk away. Instead, you remain. You choose love. Fear contracts us and love expands us, yet those are just words. But we can make those words real by observing changes in our own body. Close your eyes for a moment. Think about a time you felt small, afraid, like you had no power. What does your body do? Maybe your chest tightens, your stomach sinks, and your breath gets shallower. Now, think of a time when you felt truly connected, when love filled your heart. Do your shoulders relax? Does your breath deepen? Does your world feel bigger, as if anything is possible? So yes, fear shrinks, love expands. We can feel it in our own bodies. Love is the practice of freedom, but it's also the practice of courage. This is the story of the Greensboro Four, four young men who walked into a Woolworth's lunch counter and sat down. The day is February 1st, 1960. Just an ordinary Monday in Greensboro, North Carolina. People are going to work, shopping. In the midst of this hubbub, four young black men walk into a segregated Woolworth's and sit down at the whites-only lunch counter. Some white customers glare at them, some look confused. The server comes over to them and asks them to leave, and the four men are refused service. They knew they would be, but their point wasn't about food. They were challenging the system that said some were second-class citizens merely because of the color of their skin. They could have gotten up and left. Fear would have told them to leave. But instead they stayed. They sat in silence, in dignity, in love. The next day, more students joined, and even more the day after. Imagine the expansion it took for them to stay, the widening of possibility, the deep breath in committing to love as an act of resistance. Now imagine the contraction of walking away, the way fear makes us shrink, the moment where if we let fear win, we close off possibility. The sit-ins weren't about a lunch counter. They were about a vision of a world where love, not fear, ruled, where love refused to shrink in the face of hate. And the truth is, we all face choices like this, small and big, where fear tells us to walk away, to give up, to play small. But love asks us to stay. Look, I don't know what I would have done were I there. Would I have had enough courage? I want to believe I would, but honestly, fear is a powerful force that keeps us glued to what we already know, afraid to step outside our box, afraid of the repercussions of stepping out of line. So I don't know what I would have done, but there are things we can do now that help us create that courage by focusing on love. Love isn't merely an emotion, it's our energy in motion. When we pay attention to that energy, pay attention to love, our whole being follows. What we focus on expands. Our brains are wired to notice that what we tell them is important to us. Have you ever been thinking about a certain kind of car and suddenly you see it everywhere? It's not that more of them appeared, it's just that your brain, your reticular activating system, started filtering what you noticed so that you suddenly see all of the cars that you've been thinking about. Love works the same way. If we train ourselves to look for stress, we'll find it. If we fixate on what's broken, the cracks are all we'll see. But if we train ourselves to look for love, even the smallest flickers of it, we'll start to see it everywhere. Because love is already here. It's in the way a stranger holds the door open for someone else, in the way a child reaches for their parent's hand, in a dandelion breaking through a crack in the sidewalk, refusing to be held back. The love we notice is the love we grow. And even in the smallest cracks, love is waiting and willing to grow. Love is like light. It expands in every direction. Fear is like a fist. It tightens, constricts, holds on too tightly. Today, I invite you to train yourself to notice love. Find one small moment of love, kindness, or connection, a smile, a deep breath, a stranger's kindness, and then expand it. Sit with it for a moment. Let it grow. The world we dream of is not built on fear. It is built on love, the kind of love that stays when fear tells us to run. That's exactly what the Greensboro Four did. In the cracks of an unjust world, they found love, not in grand speeches or easy moments, but in the silence of staying, the dignity of sitting, the courage of refusing to shrink. And that love expanded, first 4 young men, then dozens, then hundreds, then thousands, until an entire system had to shift. That's what love does. And love still waits in the cracks today, in the moments where fear tells us to retreat, where uncertainty urges us to shrink, where injustice dares us to look away. Love is there, waiting to be chosen. So today, may you find love in the cracks, in the small moments, in the places fear would tell you not to look. And as Bell Hooks said, the moment we choose to love, we begin to move toward freedom. Let us choose love. We don't understand the mysteries of the universe. but we can grow more love. Love for ourselves, love for others, and love for the infinite mystery that lays beyond our understanding. Thank you for tuning in.